Hello. Hi, everyone. Can you see me and hear me okay? Are you ready for some Neon Hope? We're going to be doing some co-op card game stuff. Although I'm playing it solo tonight, we're going to do, hopefully, the plan is do a couple of games of this. We'll see how long it takes me. We've got a couple of hours. So if you're not familiar, Neon Hope is a co-op card game inspired by, influenced by Arkham LCG, the Lord of the Rings LCG. See little elements seeping through, maybe some bigger elements too. But this is set in a cyberpunk world. There is some deck building involved. I'm just going with the base. The characters all have pre-built decks in the game, and there are like little expansions that you can get. I think there's a character-based expansion because I was gutted that the standees come with the main game, so I was like, well, private detective character, little girl with a cat character. This is a streamer. I've since found out, but these four characters are part of a character expansion that I don't have. I assume to so that the expansion didn't need a punch board in it. Put the standees on the base game punch board. But you can be Felina Drucker, the tech journalist that I am being today. You can be Larks, the bouncer. You can be Dennis, the AI software engineer. And you can be Asim, the day job gig economy worker. And there is also like a little alternate characters pack you can get that gives you a different character card and some alternate decks for them to have too. This is all just the standard stuff that I have got here. It was on Kickstarter successfully. I demoed this. It was this scenario as well. Essen 2024. Don't think we played through the entire scenario. But yeah, I really was excited by what I saw, and so begged for when they're available to send me one. And the design was very kind to send me one. So we're gonna have a look at it now. So I've seen that there's coverage and stuff from when it was originally on Kickstarter, but I was surprised that there isn't something else up already now that the game is out. So it is a campaign. This is the campaign that is included in the box. There is also a little standalone chapter that you can buy. But yeah, there is a fairly substantial, I'd say, storybook. 80 pages. It's a 5-game campaign, but with interludes, branching scenarios. You won't necessarily play the same ones. I've had a quick flick through. You won't necessarily play the same set of scenarios each time. So, shall we have a look? Hey James, how's it going? AV good? Good, because I've talked for about 20 minutes, didn't I? So if we use zoom in cam, you zoomed in for cards. You're a bit too zoomed in for this book. Where's the remote? Zoom out a little bit for me and we'll zoom back in a minute. So the backstory of this campaign, at least, although in general it's a kind of hopeful cyberpunk kind of setting. Tech CEOs promised their technologies would shape a better world. They created AI assistants, a meta-reality, digital money, and household robots. But none of this made the world a better place. The rich are still getting richer, some politicians are still corrupt, and the Earth's resources are still dwindling. Many think that the big corporations have won, that they had used their technologies to divide the world between them. Not yet. Democracy in Europe might be dysfunctional, but some citizens are still fighting for it, and many more are hoping for a better tomorrow. You are one of those people. It was never your goal to fight, but perhaps only because you were never presented with an opportunity. Here is that opportunity. So we are doing episode 1 right now. The Club. The music is so loud that it is deafening. Blue and purple neon lights pulse with the rhythm of the neurotech beats filling the room. You have been to the Siphon before, but that was long ago. You never intended to return to the notorious Electro Club in the east of Berlin. It is one of those places where they will ask you to hand in your augmented reality glasses at the door. No video recording allowed inside. You are not sure why you are here. Your friend Andre had asked you to come. He had said something about his job at Nubicon and that he needed to talk to you, as you were someone he could trust. It all sounded quite odd, but not quite as odd as his voice when he declined to tell you what this was all about. Now here you are at the Siphon's bar, where Andre wanted to meet you. However, Andre is not. And worse, he does not answer his phone. Perhaps you should look around to find him. So I've done all of the setup business. We don't need any more book for now until we win or lose this scenario. And what's the size of a card? Zoom that back in a minute. Whoop. There we go. And focus for me, please. Go on, be a good camera. There you go. Right, it's green screening out the text. Green screen camera is temperamental. So, we have a chapter card right here. We are currently searching for our friend. Objective: maybe you can find Andre at the dance floor or at the bar. Objective is flip both the dance floor and the bar to their backside. We have a surveillance card here. Surveillance is going to tick up here because the government is always watching. And as this ticks up, bad things will happen to us to the point where we can lose the game. The state have some data de-anonymization in play at the start that is going to cause us to suffer stress every encounter phase, which happens at the end of every round. Stress is discard a card or lose a hope to prevent that. We have 3 hope at the start. We have some locations to go to. So Siphon is the setting, kind of the place. Each place has 2 locations, a top and a bottom. So we are at the top of Siphon, where there is a bar and a barkeeper. There is also the bottom of Siphon, which has the dance floor. These cards have tokens defined by the top right corner here. So there are 2 secrets to find here. There are 4 secrets to find at the bar. And you can also get support. You can get these tokens by chatting to the barkeeper. So our turn is first. We have a look at the character a little bit. I am Felina Drucker, a tech journalist. I have my attributes, which are called, I remember, Perception of 3, Charisma of 2, Courage of 1, Technology of 2. I have a tool as well. This is double-sided. You decide at the start of the campaign which side you would like it to be on. So it could have been a cybernetic retina that would have lowered the threat values of things. We'll see those as we go on. They can make things scarier. But I've gone for insider sources. When you remove the first secret from a lead, get a random attribute marker with 2 charges from the supply once per round. And since I'm the only person playing, I will get the first thing out there. You get out of the way, you card. So that's kind of a special ability I have. I have 10 endurance. As we run out of cards, we will automatically focus. We will tick our endurance down and get that many cards back from our discard pile. 10 is what you start at in the solo game. And because your deck is only 8 cards in the standard game, you get 2 cards from other people's decks that have the universal trait, which I have done. So we have the character turns first, the character phase, where we take it in turns. We decide the order of the turns in a multiplayer game, but you've got to do your whole 3 actions first. That's what these icons are for here. And your actions are, you can move to a different location, or you can perform a task at a location. And the tasks are on the cards here. So we can investigate at the bar, we can get support from the barkeeper, or we can investigate at the dance floor if we move there. So, we can also hack. We can try and stop this data de-anonymization as well. So I have my hand of 10 cards. And you have to think about, so what do I want to do? There are generally tasks on here that the cards will help you with. So if I were to use this anonymous tip when I'm investigating the bar, I'll get +2 to the test, and then some effects might be triggered. I could do hold accountable, which doesn't boost me at all, but it will give me an extra impact. Impact is basically the thing that task does, you get another of it. So when you investigate, you remove these secrets, you'd remove an extra one. So it doesn't help you be better at the task, but you only have to do 1 action to remove 2 things. So it would be nice to get some support. I think I'm going to go for an anonymous tip. So I'm going to get support from the barkeeper. So you look at what the test is first and say what you're going to be doing. And then you need to look at the difficulty, which is 2. Look at your attribute, which is used. So the little icon of the test is there. I've got 2 versus 2. Then I am using anonymous tip that is going to give me +2 to my getting support. And then we need to flip a token from the arc. They're not from the archive, are they? I was talking as if I was going to do a retake then. The archive has the modifiers, basically. The grid, it's called. We flip a token from the grid that is going to give us a modifier. It could be, it's on the front of the campaign here. There are 2 each of -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, +3. There is an epic win, an epic fail, and 3 -1 and draw again and activate the baddies. So, similar to the Chaos Bag in Arkham, we're going to draw a token and it's going to modify our test. But once the token is drawn, it doesn't go straight back in the bag. It only goes back in once we reset the bag, once it's empty. There are 3 tokens removed though, so you can never quite be safe that, once the epic fail has been out there, we can be guaranteed that, there's 1 token left, it's going to be the epic win. There's always 3 that you don't know about. Well, you can have a look at them with certain card effects. So let's say, what are we doing? We're testing 4 versus 2, and I get -2. So that still gives me 2, so I succeed at it. So I can take any one of these modifiers here that will give me twice +2 to a particular kind of test. And I think I would like +2 to tech. And what does it tell me on Anonymous Tip? I've put all this here to make cards bigger and stuff, but I think, are they kind of big enough? Not on the green screen. So I'm quite zoomed in. So it gave me +2 on the get support action. If you removed the first secret, we didn't. If you obtained the first support marker from this person, we just did. Gain a random attribute marker with a single charge. Return random with a die that has the attribute types on it. Some sides have got 2, and you pick one. So would I like a single charge of... I'm better at perception, but it might be good to be even better at it. So that's my first action. I have got support from the barkeeper, and I have spent my Anonymous Tip card. This goes into my discard pile now. So second action, now I'm a bit better at it. I would quite like to try and hack this data de-anonymization to try and get rid of it faster. So what if I was to do the verify the source action? So I hack with +0. I can contribute any number of my tokens. It's just that the only thing you can't do is, so this has got 2 uses of giving you +2 to a tech test. I can't use both charges of it. If I had 2 different tokens, if I can find where I've put the blue tokens, if I had 2 different tokens, I could add them both and they'd both tick down 1, but I can't say with 1 token I'm going to use both of the charges in this one test. So I can only add +2 to it. So I'm doing hack, my attribute is 2, +0 from the card, +2 from my marker. We zoom in on data de-anonymization. The difficulty is 2. So again, I've got 2 ahead on it. So let's flip from the grid again, and we get 0. So succeed at that. Because of this check here, that's an extra impact. So the impact of hacking these cards is, you get to put a cube on it. Extra impact is, put another cube on it. When the cube slots are full, the card goes away. Hey Mike, how's it going? Start again now? Well, you haven't missed tons. I think if you rewind in 2 times speed, I've only done 2 actions. So I've spent verify the source. It had an attribute I didn't use on it. Teamwork. 1 matching attribute marker can be used to get an additional impact instead of +2. So I could have done that. I didn't know I was going to draw a 0 though, did I? And then afterwards, if you succeed, analyze 2 encounter cards. You can discard 1 of them. So that means I can look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck that is built based on what the campaign set, what the chapter setup said. So if we zoom in on these cards, coming up is Advanced Surveillance. I had this in my practice game. It's a right pain because it's really hard to get rid of. You only need 1 to get rid of it, but it's a 5 test, which is pretty tricky. That's the green screen putting something over these cards, isn't it? Get rid of it for now. And it will give you 2 surveillance every encounter phase that will tick up that counter. Profiling, it'll just be 1 surveillance once or 2 stress. So I think we will discard Advanced Surveillance from the deck. Doesn't mean this is going to happen next, because we put it back in the deck, and now it's going to shuffle back up. I also have an ability that lets me look at 2 tokens, put 1 in the archive, so it goes away. So I could do that to a bad one, hopefully, if I draw a bad one. And then they get shuffled up, though, so you still don't get to know where the other one was. Okay. That's my second action. I hacked data de-anonymization. And then finally, it would be nice to do some investigating. We've still got 1 charge of that as well, haven't we? Let's see. Now, I could do stay undercover, which would let me hack again. I can use an attribute marker of any attribute as if it's matching. But its kind of after action is, if you retreat an enemy or state, you can do an additional action. I think I'm going to try that. Do I want to use a marker? It's 4 versus 2. There are -3s. Got 2 -3s and an auto fail. We haven't seen either of them. They could be right here. This could be -3, -3 epic fail. I'm going to keep calling it auto fail, aren't I? I'm a bit worried I'm going to use this. So it's letting me use the wrong kind of marker because of the card that I'm using. Let's reveal this one in the grid. It's +2. I didn't need to commit anything. So I get another cube on data de-anonymization. This completes the card. Now it's worth saying that in the encounter phase, they do there when the encounter phase begins stuff. Stress makes me discard a card or discard a hope to prevent that loss. Then our kind of rabble rousing adds a cube to these things anyway. So it would have gone away in the encounter phase no matter what. But because I complete the card, I get a resource. Resources are great because when you focus, when you've run out of cards and you need to get cards back, you can spend your focus on these lovely tool and ally cards that will really help you out. So data de-anonymization is out of there. This was my third action, wasn't it? I hacked twice. Oh, but we can perform an additional action because of stay undercover. Hey, there's my additional action. So now we've got nothing to worry about from there. I could try investigating with field work. I can investigate for +1. And then I choose 1. Add 2 to the test. Or get 2 additional impact. So I would get 3 secrets in 1 action. But then I have to draw an encounter card afterwards. Encounter cards, bad things. I'm going to try that. I've been lucky so far, so could maybe hold off until I've had something bad happen. So I want to succeed at this. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 2. So there's only 1 token that can make me lose at this. I'm going to flip. -1. So wasted the attribute marker technically. I'm going to go for the 2 additional impacts, as I said. So we remove 3 secrets. They just go back to the supply. You don't need them for anything. When I remove the first secret from a card, I get a random attribute marker with 2 charges from the supply, thanks to my tool. That's going to be the perception back again. And because I chose to get the additional impact, I now have to draw an encounter card. And that's going to be, hey, we've seen you. Profiling. Trigger a surveillance or suffer 2 stress. Well, I don't want to lose 2 hope or cards. I'm going to go for surveillance because it's on nothing right now. It's now on 1. When it gets to 8, I'm going to suffer a stress. 15, 2 stress. 22, I draw an extra encounter card. 30, we flip the card and things get harder. I think the auto fail token gets harder as well. And 40, we lose the game. So it's not something you want to tick up. It's something we have to have tick up. So there's my turn. That's 4 lovely actions. And then we go to the encounter phase. Resolve all the effects that happen when the encounter phase begins. None, because I got rid of it. The corporation places a hacking cube on each state in the network. There aren't any. Trigger a surveillance per character. So still ticks up a little bit more. Enemies surveil. No enemies yet. Spoiler, I think they've been removed from the deck for this portion. They'll be put in soon enough. Flip your action trackers back up. Draw an encounter card. And then resolve it. We have, at the darkest hour, the green screen there, It's too green screened. If there is nothing else, there is always hope. A nice one. Gain a hope. Hope lets you negate stress. So lovely to have. And that is the encounter phase. The quite kind, I should say, encounter phase. Oh, this drink's gone so warm so quickly. So it's been like half an hour. Right. It's back to me. So one more investigate completes this location. I would like as well to get all of these tokens from the barkeeper. Now, I do have a get support card in much the same way where I can get 2 additional impact if I'm willing to draw an encounter card. I can get all 3 of these in one go. But I would be testing 3 versus 2. And with a -3 still about, I'm not really that focused. Oh, what about this? Share your success. Yeah, we'll go for this. Share your success. Any task +2. If you succeed, +1 to the next task this round performed by anyone. I'll do that and investigate here. So it is 2, 4. I'm not going to contribute the marker, but I do need to succeed to get that +1. -1, and then reveal another. -1. So that's okay, isn't it? 4, down to 2, success. This means draw another, and then after we've finished with the action that I'm doing, activate all the enemies. No enemies right now. So we get the final secret. I've completed the card. So I get a resource, and then we flip it. We have found Win Ann Bergman, who has 2 perception tokens on her. We can get support with difficulty 3. She's a detail-oriented accountant. I don't know the name of the guy that just left, but I'm certain I've seen him at the Nubicon campus some time ago. If we can complete Miss Bergman, she'll become a follower and be in my player area, basically, for at least this scenario. Giving me an extra perception. I'm decent at perception, but it's something to think about, isn't it? So now, I've spent an action. I have +1 to my next action, so it would be 2, 3, 4 versus 2. But there's still another -1 and draw again. There's a -3 in there, but it could be here. Maybe it's not in it. We're going to try it. Get a scoop. Get support +1. Plus another one from the previous task. So this is going to be 4 versus 2. Revealing you. It's the auto win. So there's some extra characteristics to the auto win. Oh, actually, it goes beyond what I need. It gives you an extra impact. So you can't reveal additional things even if you've been told to when you find the epic win. You add 99 to your attribute until the task ends, and you get an additional impact. So I'm still going to... I've chosen the 2 additional impacts, so that's a bit of a waste on me. But we'll get all of these. And then I have to draw an encounter card after the action. So the barkeeper we've been talking to, are you sure you want a beer? We have the fancy stuff that will open your mind, my friend. And now we've chatted to her some more. She has a hope on her that we can get off by getting support again for 3. She is a barkeeper and nighttime philosopher. Brown hair, this big. Nah, haven't seen the guy. Want to get a neurostim tonic? If we do, then we can complete this card, and characters at your setting recover a total of up to 2 action cards from their discard pile, which is nice, isn't it? Everyone is doing very well. Marty was in here earlier. He nearly got ran over by the chair because he decided to lie right underneath it, which is what he used to do ages ago. They've got a lovely bed laid out for him. Doesn't lie in it. Rachel's doing well. She is on her holidays now. And Sabrina is, like, properly walking about, properly charging up and down. It's hard to... it's impossible to keep her still. Just to stop her toppling over and into things. Great that she's walking about, but stay unhurt doing it. So I need to draw an encounter card, don't I, for having the bonus effect of that. Uh-oh, it's advanced surveillance. Just because I got one out of the deck doesn't mean it's gone forever. So, I've got one more action. I do have... So I've got the 2 from here. I've got High Hopes that gives me +2 to any task. And then I've got this that would give me +2 to tech. So I can be testing 6 versus 5. There's still a lot of positives we haven't seen. I'm going to risk it, because that will go away. It'll only happen once and then it'll go away. But wouldn't it be nice? I haven't had a resource, have I? It is for... It's for completing the card. I don't have to do both sides of it, do I? I haven't been doing that wrong, have I? You flip back too far. Completing a task. Yeah. You complete the task, you get a resource, and then it flips and that. So we could get a resource and stop that advanced surveillance happening. 2, 4, 6, and we could get a hope for this. 6 versus 5. This one. Oh, -3. Okay. Oh well. It's happened. You were braced for it. It happened. Encounter phase. So now there is something to happen at the start of the encounter phase. Trigger 2 surveillance. 3, 4. But then a cube is placed on this automatically and it goes away. So it's done its bad business. Would have been lovely to get that resource stuff. But I've got 3. I'm quite happy with the progress so far. Then we do surveillance next. Yep. So we're up to 5. Enemies not yet. Flip retreated cards not yet. Action trackers come back. And then it's time for the encounter card, which is the data de-anonymization that we saw at the start. A stress at the start of every encounter phase while that's out there. Hey Dominic, how's it going? I think I recognize your picture. It shows me usernames now rather than people's names that they used to put down. Right, what am I doing? It's a new player phase, and I know that I probably should be racing along against my tendency to want to just rinse everything. I've got an encouraging speech here. +3 to get support. And then I can get a bonus action. So an additional task, but I would like the hope and to get 2 action cards back. Oh, we need the red. What's the red? Sorry, the courage. I'm not good at courage. I've got a +2 there. We need courage to investigate the dance floor, and it's 3 difficulty. Okay, I've got an idea. We're going to get support from MJ. So it's 2, 5. I am scared enough to want the marker. 7 versus 3. There is another +3 in there. It could be in the archive. This one. Ah! No, it wasn't in the archive. It also activates enemies, the epic fail. Right, where's my bit where it says they also do these things? Where's that bit gone? I found it really easily for the epic win part. Come on, rulebook, don't let me down now. I don't think anything applies right now, but just in case. It's my flicking through the rule. Oh, there it is. It's further than the end. Yeah, no additional modifiers, -99 to your attribute, then activate enemies. Luckily, we haven't got any right now, but that is a big old fail. So there's only kind of a -3 in there. An encouraging speech is wasted. Was that already flipped to its... I think that was already flipped to its just one side, wasn't it? And I've spent it now. Okay, then. So... I don't get the bonus action either. Do we want to spend an action moving and just start investigating down here? Could always potentially come back up. I did want the hope and the 2 action cards back, but it's... How much are you going to spend doing that? These are both good for investigating. If you do share your success to do something good up here, you won't be able to do another task. Unless you can always discard all of your cards in your hand and then focus to get them all back, but it's a bit of a shame to do that with like 2 more cards. Okay, second action. Could just hack any task. No. I'm going to move down to the bottom location and we are going to investigate this dance floor. So do I test 3 versus 3 and then I can have 2 successes with 1 action? Or do we test 4 or even 6 versus 3 and just get 1? We go big. Hold accountable. Investigate. 1, 3. Really? There's still a -2, a -3, the rolling monster ones? Okay, sea cancers. Checking it out. 4, 6 versus 3. 5 versus 3. 6 versus 3. Should have held my ground. Okay, spent 1 charge of that. We succeed and get a secret. For getting the first secret, we get a random attribute marker with 2. It can be perception or charisma. I'll go charisma because I've got 2 perception ones. So, if you succeed, analyze 2 modifiers. You may archive 1 of them. I'm going to have a look at this one and this one. They're both good. Okay, I don't want to archive one of those. I'm happy with any of those being in there. I just turned that round, didn't I? I could feel it. Okay. Ideally, you want to reveal something bad and get it off into the archive. But that's still okay, isn't it? So we tried to get support, we moved, we investigated. That's it. So in counter phase, we need to take a stress. I'm going to lose... Am I going to lose a hope? Yeah, because I've got a plan. So I don't have to do that, and then a cube automatically gets put on this. Surveillance ticks up 1. Then enemies, retreated cards, action markers back. Get an encounter card, which is going to be profiling, a surveillance, or 2 stress. A surveillance. I'm picking this a lot. Okay. Encounters. But hold accountable gives you an extra thing. What's the point of using hold accountable on this? I know you get to analyze 2 cards, but you're just testing 3 versus 3, where you could be testing 5 versus 3. Okay, keep the hope. Discard this card. Share your success to investigate here. 1, 3, 5 versus 3. We've seen at least 2 pluses here. +3. So, we get the last secret off, which completes the card. So get a resource. We flip the card. Hey, it's Maxim Wagner. Holonovella actor. Maybe you should try in the back area, but I doubt you would get in. Has 2 charisma boosters on him. If we can get these, we can have a permanent +1 charisma. We're having him follow us. If you succeed, +1 to the next task. So I don't have any cards anymore. When you don't have any cards, you focus. So you tick down your endurance and you draw that many cards back up. So I've got to leave 1 card behind. And I think it's going to be... Verify the source, I think. To get the others back. I spent this. Oh, and we can spend our resources on stuff. Let me just zoom in over here. So I have 4, so I can afford almost anything. There's a 5 cost one, which we can't afford. After you flip a lead, which we just did, either get a hope from a lead at your setting or roll a die and get an attribute marker from a lead at your setting. That's pretty cool. So I'm kind of tempted to go for one of the allies. We do have, see in the corner here, the kind of piece of paper is Felina's actual deck. You get an extra ally from someone else's deck for playing solo. So I've got Alex de Klerk here, who gives me a courage. I've only got 1 courage. That's kind of why I picked him. And you can trash him to deal a damage to an enemy at your setting. Agent Ace gives me a technology. Or you could spend them on cheaper things that are kind of one-use things after you reveal the modifier and it isn't a skull. You can trash this to ignore the modifiers that were revealed and pretend you drew the epic win instead. When you make a choice on a dilemma, you can recycle this, which means put it back in the tool deck. You can buy it again later to ignore the choice. I think I'm going to spend it all on getting Alex out and boosting my courage. You would get better at hacking with this. Just my courage is bad. Yeah, I'm going to boost my courage. Okay, so the other tools go away. We have our deck back, and yeah, I've just done one thing. I've just investigated, haven't I? So I would quite like to get support and have it make an additional impact, but... Oh, you've got rid of Verify the Source, though. Okay, which other card would you want to not bring back? I want them all. Hold accountable on this occasion. I'm going to try to verify the source. So get support. 2, 4. I know there's good things here, isn't there? I want them both. +1. Yes. So if you used a charge of that, I get an additional impact. So I get both of these, completing the card and getting a resource. And Maxim comes over, giving me a Charisma 2. And if you succeed, analyze 2 encounter cards. Let's see. Profiling, we've seen a lot. Network analysis, either suffer 3 stress or spend a charge from a marker without effect. I think we'll discard network analysis. Keep profiling in there and it gets shuffled back into the deck. Okay. If I'm done with that, and we're done down here, I'm going to have to move. Oh no, we flipped the bar to the backside. When did I do that? I did that with my first action, didn't I? After the first action, we should have done this. I flipped them both to their backside, so we need to flip this over. You spot your friend Andre standing close to a neon-lit corridor which leads deeper inside the club. Next to him are a blonde woman and a bald man. You shout, but your voice gets drowned out by the music. Suddenly, you hear a loud sound behind you, and a group of people in uniform push through the crowd. They seem to be searching for someone. Andre looks over his shoulder, but your eyes do not meet. Then he and his companions quickly head down the neon-lit corridor. Find all 5 regular enemies in the staging deck. Each character draws 1 at random. Like, I've done something different because enemies like that, there could have been the enemies act. Luckily it didn't, but enemies you draw appear at your location. So we have got Corp Loyalist. You cannot move away from this location while the Corp Loyalist is here, so we're going to have to deal with him. I'm going to have to fight him, so good job I've got a +1 to courage. And then put the backstage setting into play. So I'm going to need a little bit more table space, but the archive can just move around a little bit as well. So the cards kind of tell you on the back of the setting cards here. We've got Strangers in the Dark. We've got random copies of the cards, and like the bar and the dance floor could have been different as well. So we have two random copies of Strangers in the Dark each here. We can put a load of secrets on them. Got 3 on each. Now, something we haven't seen before. They've got these checks on them with the normal numbers that we've seen before, and then this red number, which is threat. So you can still succeed, but if you're below the threat value, then you trigger threat, which means the bad thing happens. So the lightning bolt is you suffer stress. But if you hack the card first and put a cube over this, then that won't happen if you trigger the threat stuff. There is also a bit of something we haven't really seen on the Corp Loyalist here. You can fight him just needing 1 to do a damage when you succeed at it. But if you do 4 or more, you make him retreat and flip him over. At which point you can't see his text and you can run away from the location. So I'm going to have to fight then. So you help me with fight. If you retreat an enemy, you can do an additional action. This could be used for hacking, but I think, yeah, stay undercover. Gonna hit this Corp. Oh, and the new scenario. You need to follow Andre deeper inside the club. Find the hidden basement and flip it. So we're gonna fight the Corp Loyalist. Difficulty 1 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. -3. Luckily, it does it, but it just does the damage. It doesn't make him retreat, so we don't get the additional action. I honestly thought I was going to do really well, and I was just going to make him retreat with that. And then I need to do something, or I can't move from here. So it's going to have to be one of the any task ones. Probably High Hopes. If I hit him again, so 4 versus 1, and I get a hope if I succeed. So that's 2 versus 1. I succeed and do 1 damage, but I didn't make him retreat again. But I do gain a hope, which is still nice. And that's my 3rd action, isn't it? Yep. So that's spent. Into the encounter phase, I've got to suffer a stress. I've got hope now, so I'm going to lose a hope. And then a cube automatically gets put on here. Then a surveillance, so we're up to 8, so I suffer a stress. I'm going to use a hope. Then retreated cards face up, action trackers flip back up. Encounter card time. At the darkest hour, if there's nothing else, there's always hope. Get hope back. Okay. It's back to me. So, share your success is any task. Otherwise, I don't have any other fight stuff. I need to do well at this, really. I could trash Alex to deal a damage to him. I need to do really well at this. I don't know what this token is. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1. Hopefully getting a 4. Do I? I just do 1 damage, right? For hitting him with a fight action. Yeah, for each impact. Nothing gave me additional impact for fight actions, I don't think. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1. 7 versus 1. That does a 3rd damage to him. And frightens him. He flips. So he hasn't got confrontation text on him all of a sudden, and I can move away. And things that would trigger enemies don't trigger while he's face down. So I have just revealed everything from the grid, which means we need to reveal in the archive we had bit of nice, bit of nasty. We mix all of it back up again now. And then 3 more is going to go back on the archive. I absolutely love this over just putting them back in every time you draw something. Still plenty of mystery. There's still abilities that can be triggered that can affect the grid. Okay, so we've done that. It'd be nice to hit him again, but I don't have a card to do it right now. I don't have another thing that can help me fight. But I get +1 to my next task. So I hit him. Where shall we move? Do we want to still move to MJ? I kind of want to complete cards and stuff and have people on my side, but maybe we should move on and investigate. I'm going to go backstage. I'm going to go downstairs backstage. And I don't think I'm going to hack first. I'm going to try investigating. I want loads of additional impacts and play field work for it. I'm going to do Seek Answers. So I moved from my second action, and then I'm going to do Seek Answers. So it's Investigate for 3, 6. I'm going to use Charge as well. 8 versus 2. But I need 5 to avoid the threat. -2 gives me 6. So I do succeed, and I beat the threat, so we don't have to take a stress. So 1 secret is removed. First secret, I get to roll a die. And I get a charisma token. And then I succeeded, so I get to analyze 2 markers. I'm going to analyze you and you. I'm going to archive the +3 thanks. And then the other one gets shuffled back in. Archive, you can move up a little bit. So I've taken a -3 out of it. That is very satisfying. I investigated that. I spent 1 charge off of that for it, but that was my 3rd action, wasn't it? Oh, +1 even further off it because of the share your success. So maybe I should have done one of the other things and got some more impact. I chickened out. Right. Encounter. Take a stress. I'm going to spend a hope. 3rd cube goes on there and gets rid of it. Maybe should have just hacked to get the easy resource. Then surveillance ticks up. He flips. Yeah, enemies surveil. You trigger a surveillance for every enemy at a location with 1 or more characters, but you ignore retreated ones. So now he's back downstairs at the siphon. And then it's encounter card time. And I get Invasion of Privacy, trigger a surveillance, and then draw another one. So we're at 10. A rigged system. Draw 2 additional ones. Network analysis. 3 stress or spend a charge from an attribute marker. I've got loads of attribute markers, so I'm going to spend 1. Actually okay with that. And another one. Okay, we'll spend another charisma then. Could have been worse, I feel like. Okay. Oh, we're just going to have to pretend good shuffle. I didn't shuffle the other enemies in here. Oh, well, they didn't come out in the shuffle just yet. Yeah, everyone gets one, and then you shuffle them into the encounter deck. There's plenty of cards in here, though. It's feasible. Right. So, Strangers in the Dark. Can I investigate another 1 time? I wouldn't remove the first secret, so I don't really want to use Anonymous Tip. It's just that Fieldwork gives me 2 additional impact, and I should have just done it last time. And got all 3 in one go. But I chickened out. So before, I'm going to spend the marker. 6. And I'm going to get the 2 additional impact and then draw an encounter card. So 6 versus 2. 5 versus 2. Oh, and then enemies trigger. Wait. Trigger after the action, don't I? I'm trying to make sure, because he's coming over here. Show me they're doing a test bit. Apply -1 and reveal a modifier and activate enemies. All enemies at your location attack you, sum up their threat icons, and suffer as much stress or surveillance. One enemy at a location without a character moves to your location. Prioritize the enemy with the highest remaining health. So suddenly, let's move these guys over a little bit. He's right here backstage. So what was I at? 3, 4, 6, 5, 4. So I succeed, and I get my additional impact and all of that good stuff and get the resource. But the threat triggers, and I suffer a stress. But let's see what we found. The line between partygoers, hackers, and criminals is blurry at best. Will you be able to blend in? It's Stefania. Eccentric body hacking activist. This music sucks. I'm heading to the Hain. So I can try and get support from Stefania. So what have I done this round? I've just investigated, haven't I? That's my first thing. So I got my additional impact, and now I need to draw an encounter card. Advanced profiling, 2 surveillance, or 4 stress. 2 surveillance, I think. Ooh. Okay. I do have get support with an additional impact. You're drawing extra encounter cards all the time, though. We could go for the other strangers in the dark. I only have like an investigate +2. If you're getting the first secret, you could analyze 3 encounter cards, though. So I've just done one thing so far. I want to fight him, really. I'm going to investigate this Strangers in the Dark because I'm still just downstairs. So it does my investigation. 3, 5, 7 versus 2. 6 versus 2 avoids the threat. So it's only 1... That's spent, isn't it? It's only 1 secret. But for it being the first one, I can get an attribute marker with 2 charges on it. It's a perception one. And then I can analyze 3 encounter cards, discarding 1. So it gives me hope. I'm not going to discard that. Trigger a surveillance or suffer 2 stress. This is suffer a trigger a surveillance and draw another one. So we'll get rid of that one. Would I like to get rid of an enemy? So they're all in here. We'll see what we can do. Right. So that's that done. And then a third action. I only have cards that let me get support. And get support is with courage. So that would be 1, 2, 3 versus 1. I could just go for the +2. I can't move away. But we might as well do encouraging speech will get you 1. Why might you as well do that? If you clear the card off, you get a resource. But you get an extra action if you succeed at this. 1, 2, 5 versus 1. Yeah. I'll go for the plus tech one, and then can perform an additional task. Whenever anything says another character in a solo game, it can be you. And then we're going to get a scoop. Are you still going to go for the additional impact? Probably not. You get the resource, though. And clear a card. No, I don't think so. I'm just going to go for the +2. So it's 2, 3, 5 versus 1. 0 again. I'm going to go for the plus to courage this time. Oh, flipped you by accident. Didn't trigger the threat. So, now it's a problem because there's an enemy here. Maybe I should have discarded and focused and got a fight card. So, we need to... There's no when the thing begins stuff or hacking cubes. It's a surveillance per character and then a surveillance for every enemy at a location with a character. So that's ticked up twice. Retreated cards face up. Action trackers back. Encounter card. It's another Court Loyalist. Oh, I'm in a bit of trouble. Okay. Oh, and I should have focused straight away. I can get 8 cards back. So we're going to have to get cards that let me fight. I've only got 2. You just got to fight well enough that he flips. I think get a scoop. And verify the source, the ones I won't draw. Okay. We can still investigate for now, but them being at the location is making extra surveillance happen. Where's the investigate with an extra... That's the one that lets you fight as well. Just 'cause that could get me 2 off here. I'm going to fight... I'm going to fight him with hold accountable. Because it's 1, 2, 4. Or you could spend it for an extra impact. I can't afford the extra impact. Okay, stay undercover we're going to do with this +2. That's going to give me 1, 2, 4, 6 on this guy because I just want to do 1 damage. Although I do want to... You could flip this guy with it. 6 versus 1. 5 versus 1. And then, is it after the action enemies activate? After the task, you activate enemies. So who did I say I'm hitting? I was hitting the guy to flip him. So we were on 6, 5, 6. That is a relief. So I only do 1 damage to him, but I scare him off. And if you retreat an enemy or a state, you can perform an additional action. So then, I'm going to do hold accountable. To fight him again. 4 versus 1. Oh, then enemies should have activated the last time, causing me a stress. So what is it? 4 versus 1. 3 versus 1. 4 versus 1. So it would make him flip again, but it does his 4th damage, which defeats him, which gives me a resource. Oh, I should have spent 2 resources on a tool, shouldn't I? I had 2 resources when I ran out of cards that time. So I would go for... If you reveal a modifier and there's no skull, you can treat it as an epic win. I'll keep that in my pocket to use at a time. So I succeeded. I can analyze 2 encounter cards. Advanced profiling or invasion of privacy. Invasion of privacy draws something else. I'm going to say invasion of privacy. Because the other one is bad. But that could be that and draw the next one. I don't know. That's the way I'm thinking of it anyway. Not many encounter cards left. So they're all getting shuffled back in. Okay. So that's just those actions spent hitting those enemies. I want to be out of this location. Well, he's going to follow me, isn't it, at some point soon? Although we've revealed all the enemy activate ones. Because there's no enemies to activate after that action because of what just happened. So can I investigate and get 2 markers here? Because the last action I need to be move away. So I can't fight again. Or I can do any task, can't I? I've got them if I need to. You can do field work. 3, 4, 6 versus 2. Oh, what are you? 3 versus 2. So you succeed and get this stuff, but the threat goes off and you suffer a stress. That's all the hope gone. And then we'll trigger an encounter card in a minute. Succeeded at this, so we get a resource. And then flip it over. Who's this stranger in the dark? It's Lil and Alexis. We can get support with courage. Ever been to this part of the club? We don't want to be rude, but safe spaces for mechasexuals are rare enough, and we don't like people staring. So we could get some help there. They're activists for sexual minorities. Why not? I need to do an encounter card for having got the extra impact. Advanced surveillance is out. Could get rid of it, but I can't because I need my 3rd action to be get out of here, away from the baddie that's going to keep me there, because one of these is the locations that I need. Yeah. Okay. Happy-ish with that. So, trigger 2 surveillance. The second surveillance means I suffer 2 stress. I've got no hope, so I need to discard 2 cards. I'm going to go for... this get support. And... I want all of these. Anonymous tip. I didn't have any hope. And then a cube gets put on that and it goes away. Trigger surveillance per character. That happened because we got to 15 stress by 15 surveillance, by the way. And then he refreshes, but he's down here. Action tokens back. Encounter card. It's a new card. No. We've got to find that hidden basement. I've got 1 chance, I think, to hit. I've got 2 chances to hit him. Okay. So. We're going to... seek answers. I've got nothing that gives me plus impact right now. I can treat something as an epic win, can't I? Seek answers, and I'm going to investigate the one on the left. 3, 6 versus 2, 8 versus 2. Epic win is an additional impact. So that's 2 secrets. Boom. And it's plus 99, so we definitely don't trigger the threat. You're spent. First secret removed from a lead. We can gain a red. which would be nice, a courage. And then we can analyze 2 modifiers. I'm going to look at these two. +3 or a +2. I don't want to archive either of those, so we'll shuffle them up with the third one. I've made the grid a bit of a mess, haven't I? Rather than a nice grid. So 2 out of those are good things. Now, I do want to investigate the other one, but if I do that, I won't get my secret benefit. So what we're going to do now is... we're going to hit him for 2, 4, 6. I'll spend it now. Versus 1. 9. So that is a damage. And he retreats. Just to kind of stop the extra surveillance right now. +1 to the next task. Which is just going to be, with my last card, investigating here. So I get 3, 5, 6. I'm not going to spend a token. -2. So that puts me on 4. I can't suffer the stress right now, so it would go on as surveillance, I think. Just wondering whether to use my press pass. I'd kind of like to save that. When you suffer stress, when you have no cards in hand, yeah. You automatically focus. Is that before I suffer the stress? Show me the order in this comprehensive rules bit. Yeah, first of all you focus, then you do the skulls, then you do the grid, surveillance threshold. I don't think it's worth doing epic win for that, is it? So we succeed and get a hope anyway. We're just going to trigger the threat. We succeed and get a hope. We get this secret off, and therefore get a resource. But now we've got no cards, and we have to focus, and can only get 7 back. I'm just going to bring one of the fight ones back. I think that fight one. So I think you 3 are going to be the cards I'm not bringing back. And then we need to suffer a stress and discard another thing. Oh, but I got a hope from the card. And then we flip it over. It is L30, the data broker. If you call me Leo one more time. So we've got 2 green there and a red. We can get support from him too. So this is surely the one that we want. That's my 3rd action, isn't it? I investigated, I hit him, I investigated. So, we'll surely do that next time. No bad things. Tick this off once. A surveillance for every enemy. Then we flip him back. Then we get the actions back. Then we get an encounter card. Profiling. I'm going to suffer one, just +1 surveillance. Okay. So then. Fieldwork could potentially draw them all in one go for the cost of suffering an encounter card. 3, 4, 6 versus 2, and we can turn something into an epic win unless this is the auto fail. It's a +2. So, all 3, please. For getting the first secret, we get an attribute token, a blue. We get a resource for clearing it. Oh, I had the chance to spend 3 resources, didn't I? on a tool. What I've bought. 100,000 followers. Recycle this to gain 3 random attribute markers with a single charge. When you have 3 or more impact and succeed at a task, you may add +1 to the next task. Give that reckless. Reveal an additional modifier for this task. When you have 3 or more and fail, something happens. I think... Sure, I couldn't have got another... I'm going to go for the attribute markers. So yeah, that should have happened when I recycled my cards. So field work happened. And I did the encounter card, didn't I? Doing all of that stuff. We met the threat requirement. So here is Elia Amadou. And we need to clear him to find the way downstairs. So the grid needs to be reset as well. So the auto fail was in the archive. And a +3 and a +2. But yeah, the auto fail being in there is a big plus, isn't it? So 3 for the archive, please. And then all you out here. And we need to just get some support from Elia. But I also need to... get him gone to move out of here. Thinking, do I want some more attribute markers? Ooh, I could get support in this way. So that's going to give me 1, 2, 5 versus 1. 7 versus 2. So the threat doesn't trigger either. I get this. And then we can perform an additional task after this action during your turn. So that action 2. So I don't think that works, does it? No, it does. Then you can hit him. That was the plan. So we've cleared him. Get a resource. Elia shows you the way downstairs. Find a random copy of Hidden Basements in the staging deck. It appears at the opposite location. It's down here with 2 secrets on it. You've heard crazy stories of what happens in the basement of the siphon. And then you are gone. So with the extra task, I'm going to hit this guy. So that's going to be 2, 4 versus 1. Yeah, 6. 6 versus 1. Flip this. 5 versus 1. And then skulls are going to happen. So you do the success effect first before enemies happen. So we do 1 damage to him, and he retreats. So enemies triggering doesn't matter. Oh, but then he's going to come up here. So it is... That's worse, isn't it? That's worse. So I still can't move away, and then they're both going to be here next time. But I do get to perform an additional action. Because I retreated an enemy. Oh, so maybe I still can get away. If I can make him retreat. Best I can do is +2. High hopes and hit this guy. Stick both of them on there. 8. versus 4 to make him retreat. 7. So didn't need to commit both of them. So that's only 1 damage. But it flips him too. We get a hope. And with the final action, can run down to where the hidden basement is, away from them. It's costing a lot, but we're getting away. Still got these things. Okay. Enemy phase. There's no things out here. Surveillance goes up to 20. Encounter card is going to be advanced profiling, 2 surveillance or 4 stress. 2 surveillance. I've got to draw another encounter card. I'm going to do it. At the darkest hour, gain a hope. Thank you. Okay, then. I think I just flipped that by accident. We're back in. Let's flip this hidden basement. We're going to seek answers to investigate it. So it is... Oh, it's technology to do this. It is 2, 5 versus 4. 7, 9 versus 4. And I'm going to... It wasn't a skull. It wasn't a skull. So I'm going to say... Do you need to do that? Oh, these guys are back, aren't they? Do I say it's an epic win? To just get them both off in one go? I'm going to do it. Yeah. Trash the press pass. It is gone. To get both of these. Get a resource. Flip this over. Refugee housing unit. At the Siphon, club culture is more than dancing and hooking up. It's also about building a community. So get support here twice to ask the refugees for help. And then for doing this, we get to analyze 2 modifiers. I'm going to do these 2. I think we'll keep the epic win and we'll get rid of a -2 into the archive. And then the epic win needs to be reshuffled about in here. Wait a minute. That hasn't quite gone out of the way, has it? And then you are in my discard. So we've just got to get support. Have we got to get support? It doesn't get me any extra impact, but we've got 2 actions. All right, Nick, find the hidden basement and flip it. We've done the thing. So before I do another action, you hear someone shout behind you, "Sir, they're headed in here." A small man wearing a Nubicon corporate security uniform enters the dark room, flanked by a group of officers. They have you cornered. The man looks surprised as your eyes meet, as if he had expected someone else. However, he quickly regains his composure and says with a friendly smile, "My name is Mark, and Nubicon would like to thank you for your cooperation in this matter. We're looking for one of our employees named Andre Pickard, and we think you might know him. Find Mark Steelskin Caspar in the staging deck. He appears at the location of the active character." Yep, just flip the basement. I'm doing it right. Find the dimly lit security door in the staging deck. It appears at the siphon bottom. So, here. Regular skulls are treated as the epic fail. It's in the siphon bottom location. So, we can fight him. He's got 10 health. His threat will trigger. His threat will trigger, and he will make you suffer 2 stress. But if you hack him 3 times with a 3 charisma check, needing 5 to stop threat happening, if you do it 3 times, it'll flip him over. We'll hack his augments. But refugee housing unit, I can see here. You can ask the refugees for help, and if you complete their card by getting support twice, you can place 3 hacking cubes on cards in play divided any way you choose. It's just a shame that with my stuff right now, I can't get +1 impact unless I draw the epic win. So I wouldn't want to do both, because it would just flip him now and I wouldn't have an action to move away. Because he's got confrontation stopping me moving as well. And getting skulls and bringing these guys over here would be really bad. We're gonna anonymous tip, get support from the refugee unit. 3, 5 versus 3. We're going to recycle this for 3 random attribute markers first. So that goes back into the pool. Blue. Need that. Blue. Green. I would like green, please. With a single one each, wasn't it? Single charge each. Blue, blue, green. We're spending that. 3, 5, 7 versus 3. -3. So you're gone. Succeed. Oh, this doesn't got secrets or support markers on it. Did you want to use this one? It's got hope on it. Isn't it any task? And then it gives you +1 to the next thing. So we get a hope and +1 to the next action, which I don't want to be finishing this off, because he'll just flip back in the encounter phase. So we're going to get support to trigger the extra thing. We want it to be from Lil and Alexis, but you could complete Stefania when you are about to need resources here. You're about to focus and get something back. Need green over here as well. Loads of green. We've got the attribute marks, though. They're up here. And there. Could have had a +1 perception if you'd been a bit more chatty early on. We're going to save for Lil and Alexis. So my get support is 2, 4 versus 1. 3 versus 1. 2 versus 1. 5 versus 1, but 2 skulls happened. So we can have a thing. I'm going to have the courage one. If it's the first one, we get a random attribute marker. I would like green, please. No, it's blue again. Loads of blue ones. That's from this card. And then I don't have any cards, so I have to focus. Yeah. So we're going to tick down to 6. I don't think I've been using this extra charisma for ages. I don't know if it's come up. But I haven't been using it. You might want an extra fight, but it's fight with +0. 3. But it's 2 impact if it works. Yeah, you've got to lose 4 cards. Investigate, I might not need as much. That's got 5 stuff on it, though. You do need it. You can hack it and stop the surveillance when the threat thing goes off. Got to try and get out there. You've got to get to it first. Getting 2 additional impact is surely vital. Get support. I do want to do well at that here, and then I can do an extra task, and it could be hitting one of the other people. I want the fight card. We want the 2 any tasks. I want the +3 to investigate. Okay, we'll get rid of anonymous tip. 2. 3. 4. And then I have 2 resources to buy something with. And I can either have... When you make a choice on a dilemma, you can recycle this to ignore the choice. Or we could save a resource. When you discard an encounter card from the encounter deck, you can recycle this to, if it was an enemy, get a support marker from a lead at your setting. If it was the state, remove a secret from a lead at your setting. No. Friends in high places I'm going to go for. Yeah, happy with that. Then the skulls activate. But I'm going to be discarding most of this anyway, so I probably shouldn't have thought too much about it. So for the first skull, this is so bad for me. For the first skull, he makes me discard 2 cards. We've got 2 hope. And then a new guy comes. For the second skull, 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Suppose I don't need the investigators right now. They get over there first, and then they're all going to come and get me, aren't they? And then he comes over. So they are all back down here. All stopping me moving. And all going to tick surveillance up loads now. And that was just from drawing those 2. They're done now. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, encounter phase. There's none of that stuff. Tick it up 1, and then there are 3 enemies here. 26, flips at 30. Might be losing this. Then, encounter card. We get a hope! It's another at the darkest hour. Right. So with 3 actions, I can potentially run away. Potentially. So, share your success. Where's the one that does an extra impact when you're fighting? I didn't keep that card. Share your success. I'm going to hit 1 of them. So for 6 versus 1, hopefully get in 4 though. 4. So you hit him for 1 extra damage and flip him. And get +1 to your next task. Then I'm going to stay undercover. 2, 4, 6, 7 versus 4. Win. He's dead. Get a resource. If you retreat from an enemy or a state, you can do an additional action. So I've got 2 actions left still. Then, get support. It's going to be 3, 6 is all that I can get. Versus 3. 9 versus 3. We get the hope. We've completed the card for a resource. Place 3 hacking cubes on cards in play, divided any way you choose. They can all go on him, thanks. They get removed and flip him. Choose another character you're set in. They may perform an additional task. Okay, if I'd done them in a different order, I would have had another action left, wouldn't I? No, but I wouldn't have done that before hitting them. So we're just going to have to waste... I can do another... I suppose I could get another support thing. It's just not going to help me over here, is it? You could clear a card. Just do high hopes on Stefania. 2, 4 versus 1. 1 versus 1. So then you got to lose a hope, but you get this and a resource for completing the card. Yeah. And gain a hope for succeeding, even though we triggered the threat, we succeeded. Tick down to 5 endurance. 5 cards coming back. Investigate things, I think. 1, 2, There's 4. You give additional impact, but it's such a high difficulty anyway. 5, I think. Yeah, we'll have those 5. They don't really help me fight. So I've got 4 resources. So we could have +1 technology. Trash this to place 2 hope on the surveillance card. Hope on the surveillance card ignores the increase of surveillance. You can do an additional investigate action in your turn. That would have been great earlier on, wouldn't it? Hey, Mike, how's it going? You're at work. We're in some difficult circumstances, but maybe we can do it with an extra investigate action, maybe. So final action of the turn is going to be running to the security door. Should I go and get support first and get that +1 perception and these tokens to help me with this security door? I think I should. Did you keep a get support card that could give you an extra impact? I would do that over one of the things that you've picked. Like maybe hold accountable. Yeah. So that's the third action. Encounter phase. Tick surveillance up by just 1 this time. Encounter card. It's an enemy, but not an enemy that keeps me at the location. It's only 2 to make her retreat, but it's 4 to do a damage. My actions. We're going to get support with verify the source. 3, 5, 7 versus 3. 8 versus 3. We get an extra impact. So that's a resource. Oh, these resources were spent. We get 1 more now. Miss Bergman is here for +1 permanent perception. Then I'm just going to move away from this person. Oh, these refresh, but they're not at my location. Then I can just move away from her, because unlike the Corp Loyalists, she doesn't have confrontation. Second action. Third action. Oh, we get a free investigate as well. So we've got 2 chances to investigate here. You were spent. Oh, if you succeed, analyze 2 encounter cards. There's only 2 left. And then reshuffle the encounter deck. So we can decide what the next thing is. I don't want another enemy out. Let's say profiling. Oh, because I can ignore a dilemma as well, but there's worse dilemmas than that. That's why I've been holding on to it. Okay, the dimly lit security door. We've got 2 investigate actions. I'm going to go for seek answers first. And we just got 2 tokens, didn't we, somewhere? We've put them down here. There's only 1 thing to reveal here. We haven't seen the epic fail. There's a -1, a +2. That can't be right. -1, +2, 0, epic fail. Is the 4 we haven't seen. So 25% chance this all goes badly. Because when do we reset the grid? Okay, you want the other order then? Or you just want to do like share your success? Yeah, share your success. So it could be -1 at worst, or epic fail, but I can't do anything about that. Or it's 0 or +2. 3, 5, 7. And this is my free investigate. Versus 4. It's +2. So that succeeds. It gets me 1 secret. Roll the die and get a 2 charge attribute marker. Red. Good if I need to fight again. +1 to the next task. The grid resets. Need some space up here. Just this would have let me analyze 2 tokens, but there wouldn't have been any tokens at the time to analyze. So shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And 1, 2, 3. Haven't put the epic win in the archive yet, which is a plus in it. Can you guys all get out of the way a little bit from my grid? So +1 to the next test, thanks to share your success. Final action is going to be seek answers. Investigate again. Is it? You could do field work. It could be a lot of things, though. I want to analyze 2 modifiers. 3, 4, 7 versus 4. We might get the threat stuff, but it's okay. 7 versus 4, please. Auto fail. Oh, and that activates enemies, doesn't it? I'm sure I've checked, and it does. Yeah. So it's 1 enemy, isn't it? It's just my choice. Page 9, I believe. So I've already looked it up. All enemies at your location attack you. Yeah. 1 enemy. Oh, yeah. Highest health remaining. So it's Steel Skin comes over, unfortunately. So we're going to have to deal with him once the security door is dealt with. So he doesn't hit me, but he comes over, unfortunately. And I fail and don't get to analyze 2 markers, which sucks. And that's my 3rd action. So surveillance goes up by 1 and then another 1 because he's here. Get my actions back. Profiling. Now if I trigger a surveillance, I'm going to suffer 2 stress, I think. Because if I suffer surveillance, we're going to flip the card and auto fail gets worse. I assume we shuffle the encounter deck. Let me search this PDF. This will be faster than me flicking through the rulebook. Yeah, an episode setup, yeah. Yeah, you just shuffle it. When you need to draw it, so we won't do it right now. That makes a difference. So then, actions. Keep working on the security door. That's all we can really do. So I'm thinking field work. Get an additional impact. 3, 4, 5, 7 versus 4. 6 versus 4. So we're okay for the threat. We can get 3 tokens off it. And then I've got to draw an encounter card. And that was the additional investigate, we'll say. So I've still got 3 actions. Because I imagine this is going to be like moving away to something. Which way I'm probably going to have to dodge him. But we'll see. Regular skulls are the epic fail as well. I don't think that's come up yet. So it was a plus, wasn't it? And then it was the epic fail. And we have got a dilemma ignorer. A trigger a surveillance, which puts this onto 30. Which means we flip the surveillance card. When you draw the epic fail, draw an encounter card after the action. So an additional one for there. Trigger a surveillance or suffer 2 stress. We'll do a surveillance. If we get to 40, we end the game. Not in a good way, I don't think. And all I have left is an investigate. 3, 4, 6, 8 versus 4. 6 versus 4, so we ignore the threat. We gain a hope. We get a resource for clearing it. This is my last card. We're going to focus again in a minute. A master locksmith can open a Muller and Bark security door in 10 seconds. The average chump needs a 5-minute tutorial video. And we reveal the neon-lit alley behind the siphon. You rush out into the cold air, slamming the security door shut from the other side. When all characters are at this location, you may escape. We're going to do it then. So I assume that's like in Arkham. Even when there's enemies and things are looking awful, you can just duck out, can't you? I had 3 actions to maybe hack him 3 times. So yeah, I think, unless there's like a rule about escaping. Let me have a look. Nope. So we're going to escape. Read conclusion 3. Do not advance the chapter. Oh, complete one of the following objectives to advance. Find a way to escape or defeat him. No chance. Well, love a not fighter. So, conclusion 3. I don't know how to show you this and not the others. I'm not set up for that. Well, it's kind of worked out, isn't it? Where's the remote? For the zoom-in camera. There we go. As you run down the neon-lit alley, you see 2 figures heading towards a dark street. You recognize them as the bald man and the blonde woman you saw earlier with Andre. You rush after them, but do not dare to call out for them. A self-driving cab is waiting for them. Before they enter the car, the woman looks over her shoulder and sees you running towards them. Seeing her face up close for the first time, you recognize her as Magdalena Schneider. You have seen her face on electoral posters in Kreuzberg some time ago. Magdalena asks sternly, "Have you been following us?" Before you can reply, the bald man calmly interjects, "Ah, you must be who Andre's been talking about. I'm glad you found us." The woman's eyes narrow, but then she gestures to the car's back seat. As you enter, the bald man offers his hand, saying, "I'm Neri. Andre is a colleague of mine at Nubicon." The self-driving cab starts accelerating with a faint hum, and you drive off into the twilight of an early morning. Note in the campaign log, you escaped from the club. Read conclusion 4. You can duck out at any time. Thank you. Things are going to be in the way of me using this camera angle now. It was so convenient at first. What about... No, there we go. You travel through the cold Berlin night in your cozy self-driving cab. Breaking the silence, Neri says, "I'm so sorry, Lena. I should not have gotten you involved in this." Magdalena responds quickly, "Don't be. If this is anyone's fault, it's Nubicon's fault. But why would they risk illegally raiding a nightclub?" Neri hesitates. "Today at lunch, Andre told me he had been working on a new project for Nubicon's genetic research department. What he saw had made him uncomfortable. He had reviewed a dataset that included both your and my name, and huge chunks of our medical histories." Magdalena raises her eyebrows in surprise. "That sounds highly illegal." Neri responds, "It probably is. Andre wanted to tell us more tonight." Magdalena thinks for a moment and then replies with newfound determination, "We need to find Andre. Do you know his address in the Haven?" Neri nods and turns around to give the car new directions. Progression. Record Neri as your ally. Find his story card. Well, we got to see it, haven't we? In the A Better Humanity set. Not that pile. Come on, mate, where are you? The DNA symbol. Don't tell me you've made another pile somewhere with the cards in. No, it's not this one. Oh, there is another pile. Right in front of your face, and I see the DNA symbol at the bottom. So... I saw a dog! There he is. Idealistic Nubicon engineer. Find his story card. The group chooses a character to add that card permanently to their toolkit. Note the ally's name in the Story Allies section of the campaign log, which is on the back of the book. Right here. Or you can download one from the website. When you perform a perception or technology task, you can recycle this to get +1 and an additional impact. And he only costs 1. Get him coming out again and again. Lovely. Record Magdalena Schneider as your ally. Same thing. Someone gets her in the toolkit. It's obviously just me. Power comes from the people, not corporations. When you perform charisma or courage, you can recycle the ally to get +1 and an additional impact. Another just 1 cost. Great thing. Note in the campaign log, helpful strangers. Check how many strangers in the dark you flipped during the game. 4. Note this number for X. If the surveillance card is on the escalation side, uh-oh. Record 1 Nubicon watches you. Then you can level up your characters. Record followers. I got 2 followers in that game. I could have gotten... That's the most I could have gotten, isn't it? Yeah, because that's a completed, which would have been nice. I think that's the most I could have gotten. Record followers. Gain 2 starting resources. Another thing to check in the campaign log. I haven't printed one, so I'm not going to write on my book. Upgrade 2 action cards. So you have got... Where have I put my cards? Here they are. If we zoom in a little bit, where's this camera take us? Here. So these have all been, you may have noticed, the level 1 versions of the cards. Turn that camera off. You now get to upgrade 2 of them into level 2. So you see, field work, instead of choosing +2, you can now choose +3, or you can get 3 additional impact in exchange for drawing an encounter card. Or let's say for... And there's level 3 versions as well that you can upgrade to later. Say for stay undercover, it gives you +4 to your things. Still just flexible, but it doesn't explain it. There is a keyword reference as well, and one on the back of the rulebook for other things. So we've got upgraded versions of all of the cards. And then you go on to episode 2, The Haven, which I don't know how I thought I was going to do 2, because like just with playtime and me waffling, that was very confident. But let me know. I hope you would like to see more, because I'm very excited about doing another episode and just carrying it on. It won't be very, very soon, because we're going to go on holiday shortly. And I've got things that I need to stream next week. It's a shame, because now I'm like, I want to finish this campaign. But I'm looking forward to it as well. At some point in the far-flung future, when Rach is available to play games, when we're available at the same time, and not one of us is looking after Sabrina, I think Rach will love this. She loves Arkham LCG. I think she'll appreciate the improved Chaos bag and the way the decks work as well, because like we're rubbish at deck building and stuff, or kind of can't be bothered. And so people that do deck lists and stuff save us and keep us playing those games. Whereas in this, when it's just like, oh, we can incrementally upgrade the cards we've already got. I know you can do deck building. You can mix. Some cards are universal. You've got these alternative character sets that you can mix in. And then, as I said, I wanted to ask you, if you're still here, how can... I was looking on the website today at the additional characters. How can... is there a way that people in the UK can get it? Because I've seen... The website didn't seem to ship there. Let me know. Oh, and I saw as well, too late, that by the same token have partnered up to do amazing fancy tokens for it. If you've seen any of my Arkham Horror or Marvel Champions LCG playthroughs, you'll have seen plenty of their fancy schmancy beautiful tokens. Yeah, so looking forward to them. They're not on their website at the moment, so I assume they're almost like ready, so that'll be cool. Maybe we'll be back with some by the same tokens at that point. You'll see, like, there's going to be like a video and stuff about this, so exclusive for you. There's going to be a video when they arrive and I do new Marvel Champions playthrough, potentially next week. We'll see. It'll be a filmed one anyway, but I'm gonna be affiliated. I'm an affiliate. How do you term it? With by the same token. So like everything you've seen in my playthroughs so far, I bought all of that stuff. I spent Not for a while. I've managed to control myself by not having enough money. But yeah, I have bought loads of their tokens, and I'm going to be getting a set that I haven't paid for and showing them off. And there's going to be a discount code if you are someone that is into buy the same token things. The code Marty5. Let me know if that works. There is going to be a proper video announcing all this rather than being at the end of a 2-hour stream. I was going to say unrelated then, but it's not unrelated because they'll start selling them on the website, right? At some point. So this will be important. So yeah, Marty5. You get 5% off. And then, but I do get something. I can't remember the details because it hasn't really happened yet. But sneak peek. It's not a sponsored video. Dominic was kind enough to send me a copy of the game with the fulfillment. I played a demo, well, a demo of a demo copy in Essen 2024 and was very excited and pestered just enough to get a copy sent. But it is like, oh, it's going to be available in the UK in 2 to 3 weeks. Brilliant. Because also I see like there are, aside from the buy the same token things, there's like a deluxe thing with playmats and like poker chips for these, right? I was looking at the video where you're showing them off. Very exciting. But yes, we will definitely do some more. It may be in September or something, but we'll be back with it. Marty is doing very well. He and Sabrina are, well, it's flipped now. For a while, Sabrina was kind of like, just didn't really regard him very much. And then he was always sniffing around her. It's definitely shifted to the way where he's not sick of her, but he's a bit sick of her. Marty's our cat and Sabrina's my 15-month-old baby. And she is running around at some speed now. Not like wobbling, but charging about. And Marty's not into that at all. And kind of, she is at the point where she's like picking things up and wanting to show you things and tell you about stuff in her way. And she wants to show Marty her books and things as well. And it's hard to explain to her that, like, stop pressing that thing. Stop moving that, like, string-like thing near him. He's not going to react in the way that you want. Like, don't stop pointing at his belly. Like, he thinks that means something else. He thinks that's trigger for playtime. But we'll work out eventually, won't it? They're grabbing the tail. But Marty doesn't help himself. He swishes his tail right in front of it. He's asking for it. What's she supposed to do? If you keep swishing it, she's going to grab it. So yeah, great. UK people, you'll be able to get some copies in a few weeks. Brilliant. And I saw, like, I don't know if it's been like announced yet, but there's teaser in the design notes in the back about a future adventure. But as I said at the start, like, if you missed the start, like the campaign is 5 chapters long, but there are different branching scenarios in that. And this is the storybook, and it's a hefty one. And not in the sense that, like, I loved the very, very heavy story Arkham things, so I'm not talking them down. Yeah, it's just like different conclusions, things sending you different paths. There are interludes between things as well. But yeah, purely because of the branching stuff and the amount of stuff in there. Very, very cool though. I'm very excited. For now though, that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I hope I've intrigued you sufficiently about Neon Hope. And I hope that you'd like to see more. Let me know in the comments. I'm glad that you're watching it, want to see some more, because hey, I'm going to do it. But yeah, let me know. I'm going to be back in pre-recorded form. There's an Ashes Reborn playthrough. There's another Wingspan Pocket playthrough. They're going to be coming up on the channel soon. They're on Patreon already. There is like there's stuff coming up. So like, I'm going to be going on holiday, and there's not going to be any streams for a couple of weeks after next week. But there's too much stuff recorded to the point where I'm not going to be able to edit it all in time. So I'm going to have to pick and choose. But there's stuff from what have I been doing? I did Eldritch Horror yesterday because I got a real hankering for it, and then at the end of towards the end of me filming it, which took all day, they announced the remaster of Arkham Horror Second Edition, which fantastic. Anyone like I can understand not being interested in it, but I don't understand the annoyance expressed in some comments. What did you think it was going to be? You think they were going to pay for the Battlestar license? That's never going to happen again. I don't think anyway. It's going to be Arkham. So yeah, I really want to do Arkham Horror. So yeah, there's Eldritch Horror. There is some more Ashes. There are playthroughs going to be coming up of Orbit Star, the new game from Bobby Hill of The Anarchy and Hadrian's Wall. It's a game very different to either of those. And it'll come to me. Oh, something else coming that is really exciting. I can't remember. Filmed so many things. Quick, go into the YouTube manager. What's the other thing? We're going to be live next week with The Gallerist is currently winning the Patreon playthrough vote, and something else from that. What was it? I can't remember. I have to go and look. I haven't uploaded it yet. But yeah, there's going to be Orbit Star coming up. There's great things. Arkham Horror Redux, yes. Are you excited as well? And I say that, like, literally, if you watch the Eldritch Horror playthrough that's going to be going up at some point in the next month, I start the playthrough talking about, like, I can't remember when the announcement's going to be, but some Vault thing. Are they going to bring Eldritch Horror out again? I don't think it's going to be Eldritch Horror. Like, are you going to do Arkham Second Edition? And, like, I'm excited for that. Not necessarily for me, because I've got it all, but other people can get that. Like, I know the base game you can pick up secondhand fairly cheaply and fairly readily, and always have been. But the expansions and stuff, especially the last one, really hard to get off. I stumbled upon like a bundle of almost all of it that it was kind of all jumbled up in a box, and it wasn't even clear what it came with. But it ended up coming up with a load of stuff, and like rubber bands had like perished on it, and it was a little bit ropey in that sense. But stick them in sleeves, it's fine. So I've got all of that stuff, but still, like, I'm gonna be like making excuses and desperately wanting this whole remastered set. See what they change in it. I've seen like their little their player boards and things for it are nice, little changes. It'd be interesting what they tweak about it, because yeah, I'm fine with the problems of Arkham Horror Second Edition. You can see it's one of the few games in recent years that I've done not even a first impressions of, a proper review video of about how much I love Arkham Horror. You can see me go into there of like it's the second modern board game I ever played, because we were playing not League of Legends, World of Warcraft, that one. And we were into World of Warcraft, me and some friends, and then I found out there was a board game, and I used to love board games when I was a kid. And was this like 2008, 2007? And found out there was a board game shop local. Bought it. It was really expensive and huge. And I realised that it's in the catalogue of the World of Warcraft game that it talked about Arkham Horror and the second edition, and how brutal it was, and how you were going to lose it, but just have fun anyway. And I went right back to that board game shop and bought Arkham Horror, and we played it so much, and I don't know why we never like thought about, we're enjoying this loads, I wonder if there's other things like this. Never tried another board game, like stopped them for a bit, and then it was probably 5 years after that we picked up like full steam ahead tabletop and Rado explosion of everything. Second edition is my favorite. I think you can see a bit of a negative impression of third edition when I first played it. I since like third edition a lot more now. And Eldritch Horror is better in many ways, but I really like I can understand anyone that doesn't like second edition, because it's got some old thing, it's got some old design things in it, and it's got some like just basically miss a turn, consequences of stuff. But just for like the oppressive atmosphere, for like the feel of being in this place as well, like as good as some of the story things are in, like I think third edition does a really great job of marrying the story elements of the card game, the good thing you're advancing and the bad thing you're advancing. It does a great job of marrying that with the Arkham style gameplay, and yeah, as you say, putting like pandemic style things in it in a lot of the scenarios. But just for like, that's what I like so much about Eldritch horror as well. It still happens in the other games too, and even in the card game, that there's like the emergent gameplay and things happening that you wouldn't expect, and little stories you're telling through just playing it. But Eldritch horror and Arkham horror, just by being these games, that there is still like a through line, and you're trying to achieve something, and you're trying to put out fires and all of that. But by going to these places and drawing these random cards and finding these random things, it is telling such like such good stories a lot of the time, and such funny stories. Probably more funny in Eldritch Horror's case, because Eldritch Horror is a bit more swashbuckling and round the world, and still rough and wants to punish you. But like Arkham Horror Second Edition is like it's like in some ways it doesn't even want you to enjoy the game. Like there's something weird that like it's hard to separate as well how nostalgic I am for it and how like excited I was that board games like this existed. Because I say like I used to love board games so much when I was a kid. It's all the stuff you would get at Toys R Us, and there was like some stuff outside of that that were a bit inventive, like is it Ghost Castle stuff, and like the not that inventive or involved, still like kids games, but it wasn't just like Monopoly and Game of Life and stuff. Which I enjoyed them at the time. It was like getting back into board games and then seeing, oh, I can do this. Never bought an expansion. Never went back into that shop to look at. Just looked back at. Used to have like all of these games on the wall. Didn't look at a single one of them. Just went in there for one time World of Warcraft the board game. One time Eldritch Arkham Horror. Didn't know no expansions existed and stuff back then. Not that I would have afforded it. Elder Sign's great as well. And Mansions of Madness I love too. But I'll probably put Eldritch is very close sometimes, but Arkham Horror Second Edition is my favourite. And then Eldritch. And then probably Elder Sign. Then Third Edition or Mansions. Probably Third Edition. And I love Mansions too. Am I forgetting one in here? And then the card game. And like, I love the card game. I've had great times with the card game, but I've also had horrible times with the Arkham card game. The point where like I've still got it all, and I've got the second whatever they're calling it, second chapter that I still am supposed to try, but there have been heavy times with Arkham the card game where I'm like, do I actually enjoy this game overall? Have there been more of these times where I'm like, well, that campaign was a complete waste of time. Looking at you, Drowned City. That was the worst one, I think, that we played. Is it for sale in the US? Dominic, are you still here? I haven't bored you with all the Arkham Horror chat ever. Is it coming to the US as well? Anytime soon? So I imagine there'll be like, you'd hope there'll be like future campaigns and stuff and ways to get it in that way. But will it be coming to US distribution? So yeah, what was I going on about? Oh yeah, they haven't really announced much about it. I know if people are going to Gen Con, there'll probably be pictures from Gen Con and stuff there about some of the Arkham Horror remastered stuff. It looks nice, it looks tidy, it looks clean. Obviously, I'm going to be like, covers don't look as nice as the old ones already, even though they look beautiful and clean and stuff. Same issue. There you go, Mike. In 2 to 3 weeks, it should be available. Is that all still from your website, but you're just waiting for it to be in distribution so it can be ordered? Or will it be in general distribution, like you'll be able to get it from game shops? I haven't tried those Arkham Travel games. They look cool. I was saying as well, I think I was saying this at the end of the end of the Eldritch playthrough I did. The only one I can't remember is Final Hour. I remember not liking it. But I've gone through a big journey with this stuff as well. Like, I used to love Arkham Horror Second Edition so much, and we played it so many times. And when we started getting into board games and I started buying so many Euro-y things and that, I started getting fed up that like friends just want to play Arkham Horror all the time, and I'm getting obsessed and buying too many games and wanting to play all of the different ones, and like just went off it in general and went off dice and all of this kind of thing, being like, no, deterministic is best, and I like Euros and cubes and stuff. And then it was one expo like 3 or 4 years ago that for some reason I just happened to pick it up in the Bring and Buy Eldritch Horror and an expansion, and I had a go of it, and it opened the floodgates for this type of game again. We always had Agents of Smirch for a bit of Ameritrashy story dicey stuff, but all the Arkhams and stuff had been locked away, and generally they all flooded back in when I played that, and then eventually got second edition again and got expansions this time, and yeah, I really want to do a new playthrough of that. I think it's like third in the vote at the moment. If you're on Patreon, hey, you can join Patreon if you like. It's how I make these videos happen. It's how I'm able to do them. I should probably say that before 2 hours into a stream, but here we are. There's a vote going on right now for what I'm gonna stream next week. If you've got a vote, or you want to sign up and get a vote, and you haven't cast it yet, you can make an Arkham Horror second edition playthrough happen. Probably not going to be live because it will take me like all day again, like the Eldritch Horror one did. But if if it gets the votes, I will do that, because I've really got the. Well, after not doing like, I have played it in the last year, but I haven't done a playthrough of Eldritch Horror for like nearly 2 years. I did it for my birthday a couple of years ago, I think. And so I've been thinking about it for months now, and finally was just like, well, just do it. And then as we were getting to the end, as I took a break to have tea with Sabrina and that, I saw that they'd announced the Arkham Horror Remastered thing, and suddenly was like, oh, now the Eldritch Horror itch is satisfied. Arkham Horror Second Edition, when's the last time we played that and filmed that? The small box ones are great for just adding so many cards as well, and like the disasters and things are so good in the Cities of Ruin. Like, I do love them both. I tend to, though, as cool as it is that there's extra boards and stuff, I tend not to play with them. For filming, it's kind of a zoom and table size issue. But yeah, generally, tend not to use the boards. All the cards are shuffled in. Love all of the extra options of stuff. And the last one didn't have a board, did it? The last one, that people don't like as much, had the personal stories and stuff. And I really like those. Now, some are easier than others, and some can be a bit unfair to you. But yeah. So, we've had a great time with some Neon Hope. We've had a great little chat at the end about some Arkham File stuff. So basically, get the word out. If you've got a contact somewhere, Fantasy Flight Games, forget all the... you not naming any names, you know who they're gonna... who in America they're gonna pay to do videos. Who loves Arkham Horror and would make an amazing playthrough of the remastered version. This guy. We did it wasn't a live, we did do it was live on his channel, wasn't it, when we were there, to his patrons. Yeah, you can see on the channel, I have done, I think this is going to be like the 8th little series or playthrough or whatever of Eldritch Horror. If you search on the channel, there is Eldritch Horror 3-player playthrough with my wife Rach and Paul Grogan. We went down to film a live stream with Paul, and while I was there, I think I was in another stream for Paul, and I was like, we've got the opportunity, can I bring a game? And as soon as he said yes, I was like, Eldritch Horror, we're going to make him like Eldritch Horror. And he largely did. He didn't like one particular thing about it, but he liked it way more than I was thinking he was gonna. I don't think he's played it, or probably been thinking about it much since then, but enjoyed that session. That's good enough for me, because it's incredible. Even for a generally, or historically, Eurocentric guy. Right, I'll be back in pre-recorded form at the weekend. I'll be back live, I think, a couple of times next week. We'll probably have another one Thursday night. The last one is probably going to be the Gallerist, because it feels like a bit of a tradition. It's only going to be like the 3rd time it's happened, but I like the last little one being a break, being the Gallerist. And something else, whatever gets voted for, will be the other live stream. and I may be cramming in Arkham Horror second edition into the weekend if it gets the votes. But when am I going to get a chance to edit that and put it up? Who knows? Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thanks, Dominic, for getting a copy to me and introducing me to the game as well. If I hadn't had your email for going into Essen that year, maybe I'd be missing out right now. But yes, thanks everyone for being here. I will see you very soon. Have lovely times until then. Bye. Bye.